Okay, my lovelies. Lovely to be with you back on the mat. And so just starting in whichever comfortable position you want to, whether that's seated or lying down, listening to how your body feels. Take a nice long sigh and just let your shoulders relax. Let your face relax. And just have a little scan through the body, just to notice where you might be holding tightness and tension. Even when we think we're relaxed, we can look again and look again and look again, and there's still something else that we find to just let go of a little bit more. Certainly the face, I always find. We're so used to holding some sort of expression. When we let it all go, it really feels relaxed. So with your practice this evening, just notice anything that's a little bit achy or painful and within your body, and either adjusting the pose or completely coming out of the pose. Choosing another pose if you need to. This is your practice. I'm just here to guide you if that feels right. So, body first, pose comes second. So how does your breath and breathing feel at the moment? Do the lungs feel open, that you can breathe fully, or restricted in any way? Just connect into your heart center. Bring your awareness to your heart. Can you feel how you feel? Can you become aware of the emotion, feeling that you're holding right this moment? And when I ask you to do that, does a word come to mind? How do you sense this feeling? Do you put it into words? Do you just sit with the feeling? Does it bring up a memory or an image? It's interesting to notice how we connect with our heart center. So often it's overlooked. So, shortly we'll come into a meditation position. If you're lying down, just have a lovely stretch now, taking arms overhead maybe, and then you can draw your knees in. If you're already seated, maybe just have a little movement into the arms, shoulders, head and neck, and just free up any tightness here. Have a nice rock on your back, and then in your own time roll up to seated. Come onto your cushions, your meditation cushions, if that is how you like to sit. Just a little sofa cushion is sometimes nice just to rest on. We're going to sit and just come back to what I mentioned earlier, just coming into the feelings of the heart. And so I'll guide you into sort of a little visualization of maybe a little room that you can create for your heart. So let's just close our eyes. Just rest your hands where you're comfortable. We'll take a few gentle breaths. And just imagine that you're walking up to two big doors. You can imagine however this wants to be, whether they are old looking doors, big doors, little cottage doors, or a room. And just open the doors. Walk into the room of your heart. You can imagine this however you wish. As you walk into this room of your heart, is it light and airy? Are there lots of windows? Is there a ceiling or a roof? What do you see in this room? How is it decorated? Is anything familiar? Is there something in the centre? Notice if it's lovely and clean and tidy. Or are there a few areas or corners that are a bit bleak and dark and dingy? Is there somewhere comfortable to sit? Or lie down or rest? Somewhere cosy just for you. Are there some big doors you can open? Let the air through. Lovely breeze. So just have a little look around this room that you've created, linking with your heart. Is there anybody in there with you? Are there any little of Earth's creatures? Is your instinct to go and have a look around? Find things? Or would you just like to lie back? Imagine the room without a ceiling and look up at the sky. Just have a few moments just to visualize this lovely little room in your heart. Tidy it up if you want to. Move things around. You can be on your own or invite people in. Notice if, as you breathe and relax, you can make your room bigger. Expand the energy of your heart outwards. And this room can be for whatever you want. Whenever you would like to come into a meditation or you just need some quiet time to yourself, take yourself to this little room. Maybe you could talk to your younger self there, or your older self, imagining whatever you wish. Perhaps you could have some conversations that have not been finished with people, or even make peace with conversations that have been had with people. Construct healing scenarios. So when you're ready, have one last little glance around your room, and then we'll get up, walk out, just close the doors, knowing we can come back whenever we want to. So just coming back, blinking your eyes open, noticing how that felt, just to have a visualization of being able to just have some space for yourself, look after your heart. Sometimes our hearts do get bruised in life. You might go into that room when you're feeling very withdrawn and it's all dirty and mucky and it needs a good clear out, needs the windows opened, the windows cleaned, all sorts of things. And then other times when it's all lovely and joyful, you might walk into your room in your heart and it's full of blossom and all sorts of things. So it's a lovely way to connect with your own emotions and yourself. Okay, lovelies. So we're going to come into our first pose. Cocoon. Start with your legs stretched for a moment. We've had them crossed for a few minutes, and then we'll have the right leg extended and then the left foot comes in towards the top of the thigh. And this is where I'd say if you need a little cushion underneath that knee, this is a nice welcome support. And then just in your own time, exploring this pose, just leaning into it. The thing I love about Yin is that you don't have to find the perfect posture. It's just allowing the shape to reveal itself in your body in the moment. It's sitting with the body and seeing where it wants to stretch, where it wants to resist, and accepting and just going with it. Trying to relax the outstretched leg around the ankle and foot. Sometimes the knee might feel like it's tense. Gently you can bring your awareness to the upper body and relax the shoulders and arms. Keep coming back to the leg and see if it's tightened and straightened itself. Just relax. How does this pose feel in your body this evening? Can you notice where your breath is moving? Just being aware of your body. Is there a little bit more room to move further into the pose if it feels right? How does this feel through your lower back and perhaps around the left side of your body? Does this feel comfortable this evening or challenging? And then we'll just take a few more breaths. Gently as you lift up, just exploring how it feels to release out of the stretch. And we'll come down. Take your time to let the body relax. Sometimes you might feel tightness in your belly, which we need to relax before we can soften through the muscles in the back. And then gradually you'll feel the whole shape of your back just soften and surrender to the mat. So after a few breaths lying here, it's usually when I start to feel the chi. So noticing yourself if you're feeling a little bit of coolness moving in certain parts of the body. Or just the difference in temperature from your left to your right. And then we'll gently draw our knees in. Bring your right one in first. And then your left one, and have a lovely little rock. And when you're ready, just gently rolling up. Coming into the other side of cocoon. So the right foot just placed to the inner left thigh. And you may want to use a prop. If you used one the other side, you could just explore. It might not feel like you need it. You can always start with it there and then move it later on if you want to. And then again, just gently, slowly exploring where this pose is going to take you. Relax, relax the legs. Lovely deep breaths to your belly. Take the time to be curious about your body as you start in this pose. Gradually, you might think, oh, I wonder why my shoulders are tense. I wonder if I can relax my wrists. Or I notice there's a little bit of tightness in the left side of my waist or the right side, and then just be curious where you're still feeling tension. Tune into your breath. This can often relax you a little bit more. Just let your eyes close if they haven't already. And just observe how you're feeling within your body. Are there parts of your body that are really enjoying this stretch? Just check in to see if you can soften a bit more into the pose. Often when we've been here a few minutes, the stretch allows a little give. How does this feel compared with the other side? Can you still breathe deeply? I love this pose because it does target your bladder meridian, which runs along the back of the leg. When the leg's outstretched, it works your gallbladder, which is the outer side of our body. And also the liver and the kidneys. So a few more breaths here, just taking the last few sensations in this posture. And gently lifting up. Coming out of this forward fold gently. And then just finding your way back onto the mat. Shavasana. Again, just relax. Nice long sigh if that feels good. Notice how it feels in your hips, in your knees, through your back. If you need to just sort of wag your tail or rock your pelvis just to find a little bit more comfort, you can do. Just encourage the spine to settle. And just enjoying some nice long breaths, very calming for your body and your parasympathetic nervous system. Encouraging a lovely healthy vagus nerve which extends from the brain down through the body to all different parts and organs. Allowing the body to freely and easily communicate everything back to the brain. So, bring these in. Another little hug. To counterpose those two positions where we're forward folding, we're going to come into heart bench, or if you're feeling like you need a softer pose, then bench this evening is absolutely fine. If you choose to come into bench, and sometimes if you have got a really sore back, then this is nice. You can just come over and lie back as long as you support the neck. But this evening, sometimes when I'm feeling a bit achy through the back, I find that heart bench, where you use two blocks, the top block for the head, this long block that just comes behind the heart area, it's always a lovely pose. I'm so used to it now after years of doing it that I find it quite comfortable, but when I first started, it felt very strange and always used to take me a little while to get comfortable. But I think it's like riding a bike. You just know how it's going to feel and you get used to it. So choosing whichever you prefer. If you come into heart bench and it doesn't feel right, then by all means, just use your cushion. And this is a lovely one, as we started talking about the heart energy earlier. This is a really lovely pose to just rest in. You don't have to think about your emotions. You don't have to analyse them. But if there's a little bit of imbalance here, then just coming into this pose can encourage a shift. There are many subtle layers of the body in the yogic philosophy. The physical body, which we all can see and feel. There's an emotional body, a mental body, the subtle body of the chakras, and a bliss body. And where perhaps we can't access or don't want to access one layer, we can do it through another. So coming into a posture can be just as beneficial as thinking about it or having to go into a deep emotion that we're resistant to. So notice here where you can relax a bit more. You might like to dip the chin down a little, which softens through the back of the neck. Where you place your arms, we'll just change a little bit of the sensation. Breathing deeply. Enjoying how the chest opens as we breathe. While you rest in this silence, notice your thoughts. So how does this pose feel in your body this evening? Is it comfortable to open up the chest emotionally? Sometimes if we're feeling a little bit unsafe or wary or our emotions have been hurt, coming into this position might feel strange. We might feel more like closing down and protecting the heart. So one more breath. And gently lift your head and then support your body as you come up. Instantly you feel the difference when you come out of that pose. So just lying down. I think that sort of pose where we take the front of the body and we stretch it sort of backwards is so welcome in today's society where we're always hunched over something. Lovely for our posture. So how does it feel as you lie here, as you just sort of move a few of the muscles in the upper back? How do you feel? And so if you want to just bring your knees into chest, it always feels nice to just sort of come into this lovely little reset rock. We've come forwards, we've come backwards, and so now we're going to come into banana, which is a side stretch to the body, so coming into the sides and really targeting our gallbladder channel. If this pose, you can come into it deeply or softly, however you need to be, especially if hips are an issue. So we'll always start by coming over to the right side. So take your feet over to the right lower corner. I cross my feet right over left, often just to stop my foot wanting to slide back to centre. And then just lifting your upper body up to the top right corner. If that feels right for you, if that's too deep a stretch, loosen out of the legs or loosen out of the top part of the movement. And then you can relax. If as you take a few breaths here it feels too much, just soften it. You can leave your arms by your sides or take them overhead or into cactus arms, just choosing where you'd like to rest them today. Or move through all of those options. Trying to relax. Often the buttocks start off a little tight. As you relax them, you can soften into the lower back and the sides of your waist. Notice the neck if you're holding tension there. Just every now and then, just take your awareness around your body again, just in case the buttocks have clenched up or the waist feels tight again. When you're in your poses, just allow yourself to communicate with your body. Notice any internal dialogue, what it might be trying to tell you. Our gallbladder, which zigzags along the outside of our body, on the sides, I'm told is very linked with courage and decision making, being decisive in life. The gallbladder is linked with the liver. The liver is the yin, the gallbladder is the yang energy. And it's the emotion of anger that will weaken our liver. So let's just take one more breath here. Uncross your legs if you've had them crossed. Just bring them back to centre for a few moments, and then your body back to centre. So really only a few inches top and bottom that we've moved, but you really can notice that lovely after effect in the left side. You might also notice some coolness on the inner thighs. Just take another breath or two. Really relax through the back. And then if you want to draw knees in, I sometimes like to do this just to sort of shake out of the feeling from the last pose. Come into the other side with a fresh sort of mind. And then we'll come down again now. So legs over to the lower left corner. Left foot can come over your right ankle. And then just shifting your top part of the body to the top left. You might find sometimes you stretch more one side than the other. I always find it quite curious that there's a little bit of a difference in tolerance between your right and your left. So as you relax everything, just breathing deeply to your belly. Noticing all the parts of the rib cage that feel like they perhaps open more one side than the other. Relax your face and your neck. Just every now and then just checking if the sides of your waist have any, even a little bit of tightness in them. And how do you feel in this pose? Is it restful? Are you just accepting the shape? Just inquire how the body feels. So we'll just take a few more breaths. And then gently in your own time, whether you decide to sort of move the upper body first or your legs, just coming back to centre. Having a few moments, have a little wriggle. And then settling. Tune into the chi. Where do you feel it? Just notice your breath. Notice any other parts of the body you can soften a bit more. And then we'll take our knees into our chest. Nice and slowly, one at a time. Have a nice long moment to rock here. If you want to bring the head up towards the knees, just to stretch a bit more through the back, that can feel nice. And then finally, we'll come into waterfall. I sometimes like to grab a little blanket for this one. A blanket, and you'll need a cushion. A cushion just to pop under the buttocks. And a blanket is quite nice just to bring over the legs. It's quite a comforting feeling, really. Creating almost like a waterfall of fabric. And in this very gentle inversion, we can just rest back and feel the benefits on the heart. Relaxing for the heart. It's great for all the fluids to drain back in the opposite direction in the body from when we're always standing up. Lovely for your nervous system. Just bringing yourself back into a regulated state. So often through the day we can be triggered by things that we hear, see, feel. And so come into our practice just to let everything regulate. Come back into homeostasis. So you can just close your eyes, gaze towards your third eye. Gentle breaths. Just notice how you feel in this pose, whether it's quite soothing emotionally. Do you notice you can really relax into the shoulders and the head and the neck? So just tune into your current thoughts. Did you catch yourself with a positive thought or a negative thought? Were you in the past or predicting the future. Or perhaps you were enjoying the very present now. Something I heard a little while ago was when we're daydreaming into the future or we're memory in the past, we're actually stealing from the multitude of moments that are consecutive nows. Because we're not in the moment, we're somewhere else, future or past. So we're stealing from our present life, which I thought was an intriguing concept, an intriguing thought. Reliving the past is nothing new. Predicting, which we will often do, the future is a very human thing. But to be in the moment can be quite the unknown. So gently start to bend at your knees. Let the feet slowly come down. And maybe you'd just like to pause here for a moment. And then gently you can pull that cushion away. Just have a few moments lying on your mat before you choose a restful pose. Just have a couple of minutes just to feel out of that position. Where do you feel any chi? Could it be in the real lower part of your back? It's interesting, when we come into these poses afterwards, just for some stillness on purpose, to notice where your body feels nourished from that position, where you feel the energy flowing through the meridians, the many, many meridians through the body. Almost like sort of an electrical circuitry running through our body. Can we observe where it has shifted? So gently now, lovelies, just maybe bringing the knees in for a little hug, rocking, and either returning back to lying on your mat or coming to seated, whichever you prefer, whichever benefits the body. Make sure you've got some cushions, blankets, whatever you'd like to support you. So this evening, I'm going to read you a few little things that I found today, which I found very interesting, to do with energy, the meridians in our body, Yin Yoga is very centered and based around traditional Chinese medicine. And there are people that know a great deal about what the ancients have known for hundreds and thousands of years that Western medicine cannot prove or quantify, and so it's dismissed. So some interesting facts as you lie here resting this evening. The time you wake up at night is a diagnosis. If you wake up at the same time every night, your body is pointing to a specific organ that's struggling. 11 p.m. till 1 p.m. is the gallbladder. 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. is the liver. 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. is lung. This isn't superstition. It maps the circadian body, biology, and organ-specific repair windows that science is now beginning to confirm. So this is interesting. In Chinese medicine, anger damages the liver, worry weakens the spleen, grief depletes the lungs, and fear drains the kidneys. Western medicine called this soft science for decades, and now we have research on the gut-brain axis, vagal nerve function, and how chronic stress and unprocessed emotions create measurable inflammation, hormone disruption, and disease. We were never wrong, we were just early, as in the traditional Chinese medicine practitioners. Cold food and drinks are weakening your digestion. Your spleen needs warmth to function. Cold food shocks the digestive system and slows down the entire transformation process. Western medicine is just starting to look at the role of food temperature on gut mobility, enzyme function, and microbiome health. The research is going to validate what every Chinese medicine practitioner already knows. Your grandma was right. Eat warm food. Acupuncture works because of energy in your body. Because of energy your body has that science can't measure. Qi is real. Meridians are real. The fact that we can't fully quantify them with current technology doesn't mean they don't exist. We couldn't measure brain waves until we built the EEG machine. We couldn't see bacteria until we built microscopes. The tools to measure qi are coming. Until then, the results speak for themselves. Millions of people getting better through a system science is still trying to explain. Your fertility, energy, and longevity are determined by the essence you were born with. In Chinese medicine, we call it Jin. It's stored in the kidneys, and it's the deepest layer of your constitution. You inherit it from your parents and spend it over your lifetime. Telomeres, mitochondria, DNA, epigenetics, modern science is now describing the same concept with different language. Jing isn't Wu, it's the original framework of what we now call cellular aging. We just had a name for it 3,000 years ago. Chinese medicine has been observing the human body for thousands of years. Western science is brilliant and necessary, and it's also catching up to the things we documented in 200 BC. You don't have to wait for the research. Your body is already proof. So, interesting concept that I thought I'd share with you. Of how the Eastern beliefs are all coming to light as our science catches up. So, my lovelies, just gently coming back to your physical body. Notice where your thoughts went with what I shared. Whether there was any truth in that felt right for you. Because there's always three truths. Your truth, someone else's truth, and then the actual truth. It's always how we perceive and how something fits in with our own narrative. So have a few moments, start to wiggle fingers and toes and perhaps gently explore rocking the head from side to side, how the neck feels. How does your energy feel? Perhaps peaceful and relaxed, but balanced at the same time. Are there words to describe? Have a bit of a stretch. Taking your arms overhead, have a lovely full body stretch. And then you can, in your own time, draw knees in and enjoy a nice rock. And in your own time, you can roll up to seated. And then when you're ready, joining me with hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.